Our next trainer is the Program Quality Director for District 114. Just a little bit about her. I think she has taken on every single club officer role apart from one. Was it
I've taken up all of them.
all of
It's
them?
only that I didn't do some of them for credit because we're in the process of chartering the clubs.
Oh, you
But
see, I
I've
thought
taken
even
up
there's
all of
one you
them.
hadn't done. Ah, she has done all of them. She has done all club officer roles. She has been area director a number of times. In fact, one of those times she was my area director because she was the area director of Muyenga Toastmasters Club, which is a club I belong to. And that's when I met her. We were both serving on the division council. As the administrator, she was the area director of my club. She has been division director. She has been club quality director. I feel like when we say the person who has gone through all leadership roles, they mean her. We just have one more to go in the district, and then we'll go to the region. Oh, maybe you're the one going to international president as I'm thinking about it. And in this Toastmaster year, she is the program quality director. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, distinguished Toastmaster Margaret Njoroge, to take us through the next segment of this training. Over to you, DTM Maggie.
Thank you
Let's show
very
some
much,
love.
our TLI chair, distinguished Toastmaster Anne-Maria Nakimera. It is always such a joy and an honor to share the stage with you. Have we learned something this morning? Can we give distinguished Toastmaster Anne-Maria her flowers? Just show her some love and appreciation for the session that we've just had. I've personally picked a thing or two. And each time I come into a session, I come with a mindset that I have come to learn. And guess what? I always pick something. Thank you so much for that very insightful and audience interactive segment. Mary Isaac, I know that your hand is up. Do you have a question or a comment?
No, let me lower it. I forgot to lower it.
Is a hands-on session. We'll be visiting the Toastmasters website, appreciating what's in there. And then we will segue in the base camp, which is the official site for the Pathways program. When you log in, and for those who for anybody who joined in the last month, you did receive a welcome email. And in it, how to get on to the website that I'm currently displaying. And it also gave you a one-time password. When you loaded www.toastmasters.org, it took you to a screen that looks something like this. Where it currently says, welcome, Margaret, was the word login. And when you clicked on login, it allowed you to put the email you used to register as a Toastmaster. And the welcome email from Toastmasters gave you the one-time password. Once you input that, it asked you to change your password to something you can remember. Those who may not have seen the welcome email, I strongly suggest you check your spam mail. It may be sitting pretty in there because Toastmasters has sent you anything. If you don't find it there and you remember the email you use, www.toastmasters.org, click on the word login, where my welcome message currently sits, welcome Margaret, and click on forgot password. Send you a enable you to reset. you're able to find your way and land on this page. One of the things that you can immediately notice is that it will ask you, where can we take you today by your first name? And another interesting statistic, it will capture for you how long you've been a Toastmaster. And this is my 17th year Toastmaster, and I'm still learning. And renewed my membership and Nairobi Toastmasters Club, the third club to be chartered in Kenya, is the one that made me a Toastmaster. I first visited a Toastmasters club that meets in the evening, Toastmasters. So I was doing so many other things in the evening. First with a team that wanted to start the first East African club over lunch hour. And that's how come we set up Nairobi Toastmasters Club as a lunch hour club meeting that meets on the second and fourth Monday. A very productive lunch, 7 minutes from 12:50 p.m. all the way to 2 p.m. And we've held our meetings for the last 17 years. Then along the way, we've together, including the club, the Hill Toastmasters Club. And I'm so delighted to have our club president, Toastmaster Christine Ombaka, on the call this morning. So I'm what you call a dual member, belonging to more than one club. And what happens is you get to pay the new member one time. And then you pay a member fee for each club where you hold membership. There are even people who are involved with club meetings within the same district or across the globe, because Toastmasters is in over 150 countries, and we have more than 14,200 clubs globally. And once you hold membership in one club, guess what? You can visit any of the clubs. And our TLR chair, DTM and Maria, has invited us to attend other clubs whenever we are able to. And even for those of us who travel for work or for leisure, we show up, just visiting Toastmasters, you let them know from what part of the world. Do things in their part of the world. When you land on this particular page, I want to draw attention to the place where you're being welcomed. For me, it's Welcome Margaret. And there's a little triangle there that's inverted. And when your mouse hovers over it, it has My Home, My Profile, and the Logout. If you're like me and you like to navigate, and I learned from Jennifer that she's already been navigating and getting lost, which are going to so many places as there are so many resources. And I was like, oh, now I need to go to Basecamp. How do I go back? Go to where your name is, welcome, and click on My Home. And it will bring you back to this page. And then you're able to navigate and go wherever you want to go to. I want us to familiarize ourselves with this particular page. It has My Education and Achievements. There is a tile on Go to Basecamp. This is one of the ways you can go to Pathways. Then we have the Learning Hub, and we have the Achievement Board. For those of us who are in club leadership or district leadership, you have Leadership Central, and specifically this tile. If you are a club leader, as is my friend, she has Club Central. I'm serving as the Program Quality Director at this office. I have District Central. The resources that I need to perform my. Then the tools that DTM and Maria was talking about can be found here. This is for club officer roles. She talked about the leadership role at club level. Then the club officer tutorial. We even have a video time and much more. We have a tile for that as well. You can click and get the scripts and the different applications to help you conduct your role better. We have monthly articles with wonderful insights that are shared on this website. Then we have the Distinguished Performance Report. And DTM and Maria took us through the report, and we'll look at that in just a few. Then we are being invited and reminded that it is renewal season. Can we pay our dues as the March renewal cycle literally around the corner? And as District 114, members are allowed to install. And in January, we did go for renewal and we encouraged clubs to allow the installment payment plan where members can pay an installment in January and to be able to renew our membership on time. And for those of us on the call to note, the membership will expire on 31st of March 2026 night. And because the system is automated, the names of those who have not renewed from 1st April 2026 will automatically be when the calendar rolls over on this Toastmasters website. So when you wake up on 1st of April and find you're not able to go to base camp, it's highly probable that you've not yet renewed. Or it can be a sad scenario where your treasurer has the money and has not remitted. So either way, you need to be sure that your funds are with Toastmasters International to ensure you get uninterrupted access to Basecamp. We will go to Basecamp in a while, but let's see what's in the Learning Hub. And depending on your internet speed, each of the tiles will load accordingly. For the learning, waiting for it to load. It has another way to get you to Basecamp. It also has the navigator, which is a beautiful resource with material on pathways. And it also allows you to choose a path. The first path is free. Join as a member. Thereafter, subsequent paths are at $20 and you're able to purchase the path for yourself or your own profile. Into this particular tile and select. And I want us to do that right now. Once you click on that particular tile or choose a path, it will load this screen. It will ask you to choose your language, and I recommend we do English unless you are proficient in the other languages listed there. Then you have the option. How would you like to select your learning path? There are two options. You can either view all the paths, and there's a little box with a little circle, and you get to choose from a point of information. Or you can take an assessment test where the series of questions they will ask you will the same to recommend certain paths that you can take on. And again, there is a little box there and a circle. Because I want you to see what's in there, I'm going to click on View All Path Options, and I scroll down and say Continue. And for those of us on the call who are already logged in, and I'd invited those who joined the call early, to log into their system and follow along, you're welcome to do what I've done, and especially if you have not selected or chosen a path. Then you'll see that the system is already recommending that I take a presentation mastered. And that's because so many people who come to Toastmasters want to be able to make better presentations, even as they perfect and hone their communication and leadership skills. So you'll find that Toastmasters is already recommending a path for us. You need to be careful. If this is not the path you want to start with, do not click on it, even by mistake. Because once you click on it and it becomes the first free path, or only free path that you're getting from the 6, you'll now come back and wonder why you're not able to click on, let's say, visionary communication or engaging human motivational strategies or persuasive influence, or it's asking you to pay $20. It's because you took up the recommendation, even by mistake. So make sure if you're not taking it on, do not take it. And you see, it automatically checks itself. So you can always go back and come back in. I'll do for now, and I've already done that path, and I'll get to show you my achievements and recognitions. But if we were to take that as an example and say continue, but before I do, the reason why the dynamic leadership path is not sitting in this blank space here so that you can see all 6 together is because this is the one I currently have in progress. And it says you cannot purchase this path at this time. This path is currently in progress on your Basecamp transcript. And this is another nice way for you to come and check which path you're on. Now that I've selected the recommended one, even though I've done it, I'm doing this as an example for you. You will scroll and see continue. And it will allow you to continue up to its natural end. If you don't want to select one, you have the option of going backwards one time and saying, I want to see what this path is about. And let me click on it. Do you want to view all projects? You say yes on the hyperlink, and it's going to list all projects in particular. And for those of us who want to take on presentation mastery, this path helps you build your skills as an accomplished public speaker. Excuse me. And it focuses on learning how an audience responds to you and improving your connection with audience members. The project contributes This project contributes to developing an understanding of an effective public speaking technique, including speech, writing, and speech delivery. This path culminates in an extended speech that will allow you to apply what you have learned. And this extended speech is the one that DTM and Maria talked about earlier, which I said in the chat what that one is, how you begin to speak professionally. The 5 levels that are in each path. We have the first level where we are mastering fundamentals. The second level, you're learning your style. The third level, you're increasing in knowledge. The fourth level, you're building on the skills that are relevant to the path that you've selected. And in level 5, you demonstrate the expertise. For level 1, and I encourage very keen on these projects as they are the building blocks for your communication journey for the rest of your life. Note, I did not say Toastmasters alone. For the icebreaker speech, for example, we learn how to write a basic speech that has the basic speech structures, like having a title, and in paragraph and what goes into it. The speech, what material put in there, and and we bring the speech to a conclusion. And what goes into the conclusion? Do we just off the stage, or do we leave the audience with a memorable call to action? And we also leave them wanting more. And this is the first speech that each and every Toastmaster undertakes when they begin Toastmasters pathways. Mastering Fundamentals has got 4 projects, as you can see. However, the 4th project is in 3 parts. The second project is on writing a speech with a purpose. You've deleted the icebreaker. You now know how to put a speech together that has basic speech structure. And in the breaker speech, and I don't want to delve too much detail right now because it's the next one we'll be looking at, when we go into Basecamp, you're talking about yourself and introducing yourself and the club. Once you have that basic foundation, we'll now go in writing a purpose. How do you write a speech that has a similar message so that you're not wandering all over the place? And you get off like, I know what he was talking about. This was her message. This is how she supported it. And this is all what she wants us to do after she's given us all that information. Then we have introduction to vocal variety and body language. How do you use your voice and your body as an effective communication tool? You learn those skills in this 3rd project in level 1. Then level 4, evaluation and feedback. It has got 3 parts to it. You'll prepare on any topic. You will receive feedback from your designated speech evaluator. Once you get that feedback, you will receive it, incorporate it in that speech that you delivered, and deliver it a second time. See, now that's the second part of evaluation, and now demonstrating you have received feedback and taken it further, incorporated it, and now this has been improved with those recommendations from your evaluator. Once you deliver that second speech, you are now being called upon to serve as a speech evaluator. You have received the feedback, you have applied. Now can you give somebody else constructive feedback? And that's the 3rd part of this evaluation and feedback project. And guess what? Each of the projects, and they're all speeches, because when a speech is a speech, they have their own distinct evaluation form. So that for evaluation and feedback, the first speech, the evaluation form actually reads first speech. For the second speech, when you're redoing it, it says evaluation second speech. And for the 3rd project, where you're serving as an evaluator, it says speech evaluator. So there is no confusion. And I urge us to pay attention to level 1. It will determine how to communicate and even lead in data. Then when it comes to learning your style, we have 1 project that's compulsory in all the parts, and that's Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. Mastering Fundamentals, they're compulsory projects, as is Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring, a level 2 project on learning your style. And went through the university system. For the first year, we were all doing the same subjects. Then come year 2, we all started going to our respective areas of specialization, and we attended classes accordingly. And the same thing happens in pathways. Well, depending on the area of specialization, you'll find for presentation mastery, you've got understanding your communication style. How do you communicate? Are there other ways of communication that you can to be more effective as a leader? Get to learn that in level 2. How about effective body language? Using your body as a tool. How do you enhance those gestures to ensure that message is being emphasized by the action that you are displaying at the same time when you are verbalizing the words? Tell us, then I was in the race. Then you remember, wife tell them that I was running and you start running after you've told words. How do you harmonize what you're saying with the action that you're carrying out? You start. Level 3, you are increasing in knowledge and you have one project that is the main project for this particular level, and you also have a list of electives that you need to select. You need to choose two that are compulsory for you to complete level 3. In addition to this, Maria talked about the pathways enhancements that happened on 22nd October 2025, and I posted the enhanced document on the chat earlier. And those particular projects are slightly longer. They're 10 to 15 minutes, and you deliver them during a club. You can deliver it even at an area meeting, a division meeting, or a district like the one we have today. Note that you're only required to choose 2, but guess what? All these projects are for you. The path belongs to you. So deliver as many projects as you want. My dad encouraged his children that we are learning for life and not. So have a field day, take on as many projects as you wish to. Noting, of course, that only 2 of them are required as elective projects to complete level 3, in addition to this particular main project for the presentation mastery path. Each path has got a unique project that will sit right here, depending on which area of specialization you have picked, in addition to the education project. And note that, as mentioned by DTM Maria, we also have roles that we are taking alongside delivering speeches. And there are roles we need to take at each of the levels. Once we're done, and we'll see how to complete her. Once we've completed each of the projects that are on each level, you'll find yourself in level 4, where you're now building skills on the specific part that you work on. And one project that I encourage as many of us as are able to take on to do, and it's available, is managing difficult audience. Here it's a project. For other parts, it's an elective. And it has wonderful skills on how to handle those difficult clients and audiences. You'll find yourself interacting with marketplace or in the communities in which we live, or even in your home setup. And it gives you valuable tools on how to overcome as you encounter that difficult audience. That main project, then we have a list of electives where you need to select one. But again, only one is required to complete a level, but all these projects are available for you. And in addition to these pathways projects that are available here, we have the education series, and you need to deliver text there. In addition to the club meeting roles that DTM Maria has guessed through. Then when you're with all that, you'll find yourself where you're now demonstrating expertise. The particular project for presentation mastery is prepare to speak professionally. And this particular speech is 20 to 22 minutes in length. We've now graduated. We are not practicing to speak for 1 minute in the topic. Now have ability to speak for longer and specific 22 minutes. What do you put in there? How do you deliver? How do you ensure you're engaging your audience? Then you also have some electives and you get to choose one. But once again, all the other projects and their wonderful projects are available for you. And what you'll notice as you go on to level 3, 5, some of the projects will require you to engage in activities or tasks that last even 6 or a year. So I encourage people to read ahead and see what awaits you, where you're able to prepare accordingly. Then there are other projects that require you to go to the club and deliver a fast speech in that particular project, telling the audience what it is you intend to do with that event or activity. For example, our SAA at the Hill is called Njoroge. He's taken on hosting a social for the Hill Toastmasters Club as a project. He has put together his committee. And that particular project requires him to come to the club and tell us about that project, what it is, how he intends to go about it, the committee members that are working with him on it, the timelines and the expectation. So he did that last Tuesday. And we now know that that project is ongoing. Later, when we hold the social, he'll come back to the club and tell us how the event went in order for him to complete that project. Have you seen it slightly longer? And it requires that you work with a committee, and that's why we need to read ahead so that we are ready and we prepare accordingly, even to deliver that before the project speech and after the project speech. And then you get to enjoy working and managing successful projects or teams, because he's working on this one, manage projects successfully, or he can be working on, whichever one can, or it can even be lessons learned or leading in your volunteer organization. You just pick project and check what it entails. And for this level 5 as well, we do have 2 tip sessions that you need to deliver from the education series. And we have listed the different topics in the enhanced pathways PDF document that I shared on the chat earlier. You see, there's so much to learn from each level. And therefore, those of us who want to appreciate the content for each path before we select, this is where you're coming. Once you get an appreciation of the same, then you can make your informed choice. Once you're done, you backtrack and you can go back to choosing the path. Or if you've now selected the path, it will sit in your base camp after a few hours. And depending on how Toastmasters is, you may be able to access it the following day. Another place you can come and choose the path, if you're not going to that tile that I showed you, is to click on Education Programs, skip the Pathways overview, click on Pathways, where it will tell you about the 6 paths that give us the 300 unique skill set competencies. Scroll all the way down and choose a path. If you've already chosen a path, you can also come here, go to Basecamp to choose, to have your Basecamp load. I will go to my home just so that the other screen can load where we started, or I could go home from here. But I just want to demonstrate how easy it is. Click on my home when you're right there. And then it brings you back right here. Then you have the achievement board. And this is where it will tell you about all the education awards that you have. And depending on your internet speeds, it will continue to load. And you're able to see a list of all the things you've done, and it has got many entries. You're also able to get to your profile. And you're able to see what you've put in, including the clubs you belong to. Nairobi, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm a dual member. Then it has your membership history, how you've paid, and other things related to your profile. And you also come to customize it. And for those of us who love photos, you can then put your photo in there. Then you're also able to see the different leadership positions that you have held, offices held. And for those of us who love chartering clubs and are busy chartering clubs, you're able to see how many clubs you have helped start, as well as the support roles you've had in terms of being a club sponsor or a club member. Then any other additional roles and achievements that you have would be found on this tile. So everything to do with you as an individual will be found right here as far as your Toastmasters life goes. I wanted to draw attention to the Distinguished Performance Report. So I'm on the screen that says, welcome, Margaret, where can we take you today? As Anne-Maria mentioned, DTM, we're in District 114. And you can come here and click the district. And then it loads our performance of the district. So this is the district performance. We currently have 89 clubs in East Africa. Then we have the division and area reports. Then we have the club performance report. If we click on club performance, then you're able to scroll down and see the report card for your club. And I can click on the Hill Toastmasters Club report card. And it says we are in Region 11, District 114, Division A, Area 1. And we were chartered on 9 September 2018. That's wonderful information to know about your club. Somebody asks, which area are you in? You can say, wait a minute, let me go and check for you on the dashboard. You come to club performance, look for your club, clear your particular club, and it will tell you which area you're in. We currently have 18 areas in District 1. So your club will be in one of the 18 areas. So just find out which one. As mentioned by DTM and Maria, we have 4 divisions currently, A, B, D. Again, you may want to know which division you're in and the location of the same. I know Division A has all the clubs in Nairobi. Division C, for example, has got clubs in Uganda, clubs in Rwanda, and in Burundi. Division D has got clubs that are online. It has clubs in Ethiopia. You must have met the membership and 7 to 8. For presidents distinguished, meet the requirements for club success plan and membership and have 9 goals out of 10. And for the one we are waiting to get to, Smedley Distinguished, we are only waiting for one more goal, and we'll be able to see which one it is right here. DTM Anne-Marie talked about us having 6 education goals. And you notice that the ones your club has completed have a tick. The ones where a particular goal is pending, it's written right here in the margin under status. We so far have only one additional level 2. We need one more level 2. Once we get that one more level 2, we'll have 10 out of 10 and attain the coveted Smedley Distinguished Club status. And there's something else I want to point our attention to under membership. We closed the year last year, 30th of June 2025, with 44 members as our base. And the base is the one that began this first day of the current year, which is 1st July 2025. We currently have 37 members, which means we have lost 7 in terms of net growth. And I know we are working the clock to see how to cater for this difference before 30th of June. So it's also important to note that for Smedley, you need to have a minimum of 25 paid members. You may find your club has got 20 members, 10 out of 10, they will not get Smedley. 25 members. For presidents, the minimum is 20 members. Minimum. And you must get 9 out of 10 goals. When you come here, you're able to appreciate the education goals. And when DTM and Maria was saying that we have a part to play, the question is how many education goals we gift your club this year. We are in February, we have all the way to 30th of June 2026 before the cut-offs of this year. How many goals will you gift your club? That's a decision you need to make or have already made, and it's part of that membership survey that DTM and Maria talked about earlier. Then she also talked about membership. And I know somebody on the call answered when we read Toastmasters probably in the guess. Which goals does that address when you bring in members who are guests who are converted to members? It's the membership goals, and we have 7, 8, where we have to add at least 4 new members, and we have. Then for goal number 8 is you need to add 4 more new members, and guess what? We've added 13. So as we speak right now, the Hill has recruited 17 guests and converted them to members. And this is something we are continually doing. Life happens to all of us. And you find that a time comes and people have to leave for a season. There are those who come back almost club meetings, and when they come in, can we share membership joining options generously so that they can join us and begin their Toastmasters journey? Then our club officers have the opportunity to gift their club DCP 9A when the training happens in June to August. You need a minimum of 4, but I always ask what happens to the members that were not trained? How are they going to lead without knowledge and information? And we are delighted that at the Hill, we did 7 out of 7. Then the current ongoing club officer training that happens between November and February, again, we needed a minimum of 4. And once again, I'm so proud of my club officers. Under the leadership of our president, Christine Obaka, we got 7 out of 7. You cannot get half a goal. Because when you get 9A, it's half a goal. When you get 9B, it's half a goal. You need both of them to have the tick. And that's important to note. And for the clubs that had not been chartered by the time this club officer training happened in June and August, and they're only showing up now, The minute they attend goal 9B, they'll automatically get this other one as well. So for those new clubs on the call, you do have opportunity to get 9A. Find out from your officers if they have attended. If they haven't, then the PQD, the program quality docket, is hosting a special makeup on Monday and Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 9 both days, and they're welcome to attend and get that credit for their clubs, as no other member in the club can gift these 2 golds to their club, only a club officer. The number 10 is on membership renewal dues on time. And again, Maria talked about this as having 2 renewal cycles in March and September. And as you can see, the Hill already has 10A twice. We've met the renewal for September, and we've already met the renewal for this year by having a minimum of 8 people renewed. And I know we are working around the clock to get that to 25 members renewed so that we can attain Smedley distinguished status. And then we have the opportunity to conduct club officer elections in our first meeting in May 2026. That's the recommended time by Toastmasters International. Once the club conducts the elections for the club officers that will lead the club from 1st July 2026 to 30th June 2027, then we'll get a club officer to come to Club Central, the tile that I showed you under leadership. And there is a space there for officer assignment where you list the officers for the following year. Just by doing that, you get goal 10B, which is a half. And when you renew the first time, either May or September or March, you'll get at least one of these. It's wonderful to have both. And that will give you the entire DCP 10 goal. It's what we call an administration goal. 9 is a training goal. Membership is, the one for guests is a membership goal, and this is education. Can I show you something interesting? If you spell T-E-A-M, that spells team. There are no lone rangers in Toastmasters. We need each other to fulfill the requirements of the club report card. And you remember when we were in school, as we go down memory lane, we would get a report card at the end of each term, and depending on the kind of grades you got, you either put it on the coffee table for everybody to see, or you hid it, and it was a need to know only basis. But guess what? For the report card for the club, it's available in the public domain. Anybody can access it just by going to Toastmasters dashboards. And the whole world gets to see how you're doing as a club. It's in the public domain, so let's work on it and beautify it as much as possible with at least a level of distinction. Can it be distinguished, select distinguished, president's distinguished, or Smedley distinguished? And the place to covet to be is Smedley distinguished, the highest. And your club will forever be remembered that in this particular year, under this president's leadership and our team or his team, they led the club to Smedley distinguished. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. I can see Grace saying she missed something. Is it on what I'm currently sharing? Grace? Are you able to speak, Grace? I'm reading your comment on the chat. Maybe she's not able to speak. But this document is in the public domain, and you're able to follow it through. Can we agree that we need to work on our club report card, and you're able to see the report card for each of your clubs right here just by scrolling under club performance. And the way to get here is from your Toastmasters website. Once you load and it says welcome, where can we take you today? You scroll down and you'll see the district performance. If you want to take a shortcut, you can go to your browser and put Toastmasters dashboards district 114. It will still bring you here. And when it does, you begin by saying the district performance, and we also have the tile for division and area and the club performance. You want to come to club performance so that you scroll and find your club. And once you find it, they're all hyperlinks, you click on it and you get to see what's in there. For example, if I can pick on DAR Toastmasters, they are already on 10 out of 10. And they were the first club in District 114 to get to 10 out of 10. So you notice that for them, do you know they've ticked everything? But can you see how many members they've recruited so far? 28. And therefore, they ensure that they always invite guests to their meetings and they share information on how to join. And for the goals, they needed 4 to complete level 1, they got 4. 2 to complete level. The second goal, they got 2. 2 more, they had those 2. For level 3, they only needed 2, and they have 6 people who've completed it. For education goal number 5, they needed 1, they got 1. For education goal number 6, they needed 1, they so far have 3. And guess what? They are still holding club meetings. In fact, on Thursday, they celebrated the 200th meeting, and they had so much fun. I hear they even had a parade for the best dressed. It was interesting. So you can do wonderful things with your club and have fun in the process. And the Toastmasters club environment is a safe space for us. And you can practice the skills that you have. We'll then go back. You can use the down arrow, or you can click on it and click on home. And I go back to where I started, distinguished performance reports. If for whatever reason you're not able to do that, you can just log in again. But whatever the case, make sure you're back in the system. I want us to go to Basecamp. Again, you can access it from here or from education programs. Go into Basecamp. Depending on your internet speeds, it will load a particular screen. And the warm welcome that DTM and Maria talked about. We're being welcomed everywhere. Now I'm being told, in case I don't know where I am, I'm being welcomed to Basecamp. And this is how you know whether or not you're in Basecamp. You will be welcome to it with your first name. The thing that's interesting to note is that we have the learning dashboard. And on the top right-hand corner, again, your name appears there, and there's a little triangle that has your profile, requests, the clubs you belong to, Toastmasters home to take you to the page that loads once you log in, and even the option to sign out. Again, this is a nice place to come when you need to go back to the beginning. But I want to draw attention before I get into Basecamp proper to the profile. We talked about the club meeting roles. And this is what your profile looks like. It will let you know how many clubs you belong to, how long you've been a member, the special email that you're using to access the site. Then you'll know about yourself, depending on what you put in there, that's your profile. Then your introduction, your interests, your social media handles, whatever you have. But I want to draw attention to this particular space on meeting roles. This is where we log the club meeting roles that we take on, the ones that DTM and Maria covered earlier. When you take up a role, load this screen when you're in Basecamp. Go to the top right-hand corner where your name appears. There's an inverted triangle right there. Click on it. Click on profile. it will load this screen for you. When it does, look for the pencil icon and click on it. Then you see what is available for you to put the date for the meeting role in which you have served below. And the club officers, not me, will use this information to confirm that you've certified or satisfied the meeting role requirements for the level completion you want them to approve. It's very easy. Select the role, and they're listed here in the drop down. Which role did you take up? Was it the accountant role? Was it the general evaluator role? Was it the grammarian role? Were you a speech evaluator? Were you a Toastmaster? Were you a topics master? And you're able to pick the role accordingly. We've noted that they haven't as yet put the role for being a table topic speaker. And by the way, I was a table topic speaker on Tuesday at the Hill Toastmasters Club meeting. And there's a place I'll be able to log it on the profile as you're going through the role requirements, and I'll show you where. So all you need to do is to click, then you select the date. Today's date is 21st, and you save it. I will not save it because I'm not a speech evaluator today. And I'm now wishing I hadn't put my timer role that I conducted on Monday at Nairobi Toastmasters Club, because I would have practiced and showed you with it, but it's sitting right here. February 16th, 2026, I served as a timer. And what Toastmasters did is it updated the system, and therefore we lost the roles we had done earlier. So now we have had to start on new ones, just capturing them in the system. And I've restricted them to last year and this year for now. But this is where you come and put the role. If you've taken it up multiple times, come in here and just select the pencil icon, pick the role, click on it, put the date, and save. And it automatically puts or lists the role there for you. Then it's telling me under my profile that I've got these two parts in progress. I can either access them from here, or I can go back to Toastmasters home. Where can we take you today? And it can bring you back here. And I'm able to see them. I just wanted you to appreciate that there are multiple ways of coming to Basecamp. Then we have the part achieved so far. And you're able to see what you have achieved so far. I'm currently on the dynamic leadership path. I have completed level 1. I'm currently working on level 2. I'm yet to do 3, 4, 5, and that's why they are grayed out. I have already completed the visionary communication path. That's why you can see the icons in full color. I talked about having completed the presentation mastery path. Again, you can see that in full color. The same for the leadership development path. And by the way, this was my first path and I had so much fun with it. Then there's also the team collaboration path that I've completed. DTM and Maria talked about Africa. This is the one she was talking about. The Pathways Mentor Program path. It's a free path. Remember I talked about subsequent paths being at $20? Guess what? The Pathways Mentor path is free. And it only shows up for complete level 2. So be on the lookout. And it's a very interesting path. If you complete level 3 and not activated it, it says they're not interested in me and it disappears. Have you seen it's a moody path? So make sure when you see it, please activate it. Because by the time you're reaching level 3, if you have not it will appear from your life forever. You'll need to wait for it when you do your path. So as a minimum, activate it. And it's a beautiful path. It teaches you to think about whether or not you're ready to pay it forward and somebody else. And for those of us preparing to go into leadership, where we'll be heading sections or departments or even organizations, you'll be called upon to mentor people. Beautiful opportunity to take on this path. Once you establish that you're ready to mentor, go to your vice president of education and ask them to assign you a mentee or a protege that you will work with for a project. It could be the icebreaker speech. Mentor them for it. Once they deliver that speech at the club meet, at the next meeting, you can also come and do your first speech in the free path mentor on your experience guiding that one, prepare for that one speech. What was experience like? What did you learn? What stood out for you? It's a beautiful experience sharing knowledge. Then for this time for a longer period, for 6 months, that particular protege or the mentee to write out their goals. Remember the member survey form, and specifically the goals they have towards attaining their education goals. Month window. Then you handhold them to complete what they said they have set out to complete. And after the 6-month period, you'll come back to the club and share your experience of what it felt like working with a protege for not 1 month, 2 months, but 6 months. What are the lessons? What were the challenges? And once you do all that, you complete the 360 evaluation, share it with your vice president of education together with the other checklist, and they'll be able to approve that for you and send forms to the education program team at Toastmasters International for you to be awarded the Pathways Meta program completion, and you become a side Pathways mentor. And that's just Toastmaster. So I do encourage as many of us on the call to take it up. So the path to activate before it disappears is the one I'm talking about, the Pathways Mentor Program. And it only shows up the minute you have level completion for level 2. The minute you see it, go in there and activate it. And there's another requirement for you to get the certification. You need to complete your level 5. So try and get to it as quickly as possible. And it's wonderful being a Pathways mentor. Does that help, Rachel? That's the path that disappears if you don't activate it. And you're required to complete it by the time you're completing your pathway. And I discovered a secret. More than one mentee or project. And for some reason, they were both posted outside the country and they had to leave our club. And they were not able to continue. So guess what? I ended up going back to the VPE and letting them know that I needed to be assigned some more mentees. And it's on the second trial that I was able to complete. And I'm proud that I am a certified mentor. To see your badges. And then for the respective projects that you complete, guess what? You have certificates. And they appear on your profile like they do here for each of the parts that you've completed. These are my certificates for presentation mastery. You can download them, send them to HR, publish the club and everywhere in newsletters, just to help celebrate your achievement. And even family members, they'll rejoice with you, hopefully. You also get to see the kind of projects that you have, the topics that you had, the titles that you had. If that's an evaluator who is from your club, you're able to select it, and we'll look at that in a minute. If it's from outside, the name will not appear. So again, these are all wonderful, wonderful resources. And after the update, we also lost some data. It's been archived. And that is achievements. Then we have the feedback, where you're able to give feedback to each other as club members. You can ask for feedback and you can give feedback. Then we have the resources, specifically the evaluation forms that are so relevant in pathways. And you're able to see the resources listed right here, as well as the projects that you will share, and the 360 evaluation form I talked about for the free pathways path, mentor path. They all the one related to the project in question. But be careful about the language, lest you send your evaluator the icebreaker project that is in Japanese or Korean, and you're in an English-speaking country and they're wondering, what does Maggie want me to do with a form in Japanese? So do be keen on the language. And you're welcome to come and visit and just interact with it a little more. Arts and learning. I have 2 parts that are currently active, and I want to click on dynamic leadership. Depending on your internet speeds, it will load the specific path that you've selected. Right now, it says I'm on the dynamic leadership path where the progress is 23%. And if it's a 23, it means it needs to get to 100. On this particular page, I want to click on overview. It's showing me the level 2 checklist and completion because that's where I need to go. But can I just show you something on level 2 even as I go back? It says that I need to perform the speaker role by delivering your required speeches, and we'll see what they are in a minute. Then I'm to participate as a grammarian, which means that the highest and also log it where I showed you earlier under my profile. I also need to serve as an evaluator of another member's speech. And once I take up that role, I will come and click. I also need to serve as a topics master for a club meeting. And I need to complete one additional role, Toastmaster of the day, timer, or our counter. Can you see where it's listed for us, the checklist and what we need to complete for each level? So there is no ambiguity. We've been guided. And I want to go to the overview. Now that you've seen I'm on 22%, let's go to the overview and see what sits there. And the overview is that of the entire path that you're looking at. And if I expand level 1, it has a circle, green in color with a white tick. What that means that I have completed level 1, which is on mastering fundamentals, because I have a tick for the ICE project, a tick for writing a speech with a purpose, a tick for introduction to vocal variety and body language, a tick for evaluation and feedback. Remember, and then I did the level completion. For level 2, that's where I'm living right now. Then we have level 3. Those are the projects and the electives. Then we have level 4. That will be building on your skills. Then we have level 5, where we are demonstrating expertise, and then how to complete the path, where we have another project on reflect on your path. It's an 8 to 10 minutes where you go back to your club with your 8 to 10 minutes. You're telling your members the experience. Completed level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The people who made a difference in your pathway journey, and the challenges you encountered, the achievements. And so you finish it and you're on your way to starting. You're through the motions of path completion, and you'll be guided on it when you click on it. But I want us to look at level 1, and specifically the icebreaker check. But what happens if I click on mastering fundamentals? Depending on your internet speeds, it will load the particular screen. And it tells us mastering fundamentals. I would like somebody on the call to kindly read for us what's in here. Like to read?
I can go.
Thank you very much.
So mastering.
Yes.
Welcome to your path. Roles. These experiences help you feel more confident and give you a better understanding of the Toastmasters journey. Meeting roles are part of the Pathways experience because they help you grow as a leader. Roles support your work in speeches and projects. Toastmasters founder Dr. Alf C. Smedley believed that good speakers are good listeners, helpful evaluators, strong leaders. By taking on meeting roles, you practice different areas of communication. This includes giving helpful feedback, managing time, and leading discussions. These skills will support you in becoming a better speaker and help you lead in Toastmasters, and your active participation will also improve the meeting experience for your club and fellow members.
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you so much, Dolores. That was wonderful. Have you seen where we are mastering fundamentals and taking on the speaking engagements as well as the club meeting roles? Then as you scroll down, you see the resources. And one of them is Toastmasters club meeting roles, and it's a PDF. It's a hyperlink and you can click on it. When you click on it, it will open a new window and you're able to download it. We even have the timer script. I had somebody asking, where are we going to get all these resources? Right here, when you log into your base document, download it, and encourage everybody on the call who doesn't already have one to open a Toastmasters folder. When you're saving your documents, give them names that make sense. Don't label everything icebreaker without putting up, because as you've seen, we got 6 parts with minimum. Those are 6 icebreaker speeches. If you have the same word icebreaker as your file name, keep overwriting and then wondering where your first went to. So name that makes sense, put a date as well. That way you're able to find your resources quickly. Then the R counter script is also sitting pretty in here. Again, the requirements. These 4 projects form the base of your Toastmasters journey and support your learning going forward. Isn't this what I was emphasizing on before? Let's master the fundamentals. They are the building blocks for our communication and leadership journey. For the icebreaker specifically, introduce yourself to the club and learn or practice the basic giving a speech. And your role here is you are the speaker and have the distinct privilege of standing at the front of the room and sharing the experiences from your life that you want to share in that first speech. On average, we speak about 100 words per minute. An icebreaker speech is 4 to 6 minutes long. The midway between 4 to 6 minutes is 5 minutes. 5 minutes times 500 words. That as a rule of thumb to guide you right out. Is it type? Have you noticed I've interchanged the gestures deliberately to check whether paying attention? Your speech so that you have the word count of 5. And that ensures that you stay within the speaking allocated time. You'll see at the 4th minute, the green flag. The 5th minute, the yellow. The 6th minute, you'll need to be winding up the next 30 seconds. Are allowed 30 seconds below, 30 seconds above the allocated. If the eyes to 6 minutes, it means that the safe speaking time zone is 3:30 to 6:30 minutes. Anything in there is safe. But I encourage people not to be too much on the so try and maximize on the allocated you have been given. Then we have a writing the speech purpose, and this is how to you will learn to create a clear, organized speeches with a strong message, singular, quote, message. And again, your role is speaker. When it comes to introduction to vocal variety and body language, where you're using your voice and your body as an effective communication tool, your intellect going to improve how you speak and present yourself. Learn to use your voice and body language to connect with your audience. And again, your role here is the speaker. Then for the evaluation and feedback project, which I emphasize once again, is in 3 parts. We'll learn how to give full feedback in a kind and respectful way. This was highlighted by the Toastmaster on the call who read the Toastmaster's promise on giving constructive evaluations. And on the required meeting rules, to finish level 1, you must complete the following meeting rules. Use the descriptions below and the links in the resources section above where we've come from to prepare the table topic speaker. Before you deliver your icebreaker speech, complete this rule to practice and become more comfortable speaking in front of your club. We did have a question. What if I delivered my icebreaker before I got to the table topic? It's still okay. Encouraging the club officers, especially the Toastmaster of the day who works very closely with the VPE, to try and pick on the new members to give them the opportunity at table topic speaker. So even though you are allowed to pass, don't say it too many times because you need it to go to your level 1, isn't it? Then you need to be a speaker delivering the speeches we've looked at above, the evaluator, specifically a speech that about that is in 3 parts. Then you need to select one of the following additional roles, timer or counter. And I remember when I was completing my level 1, I wanted to be the accountants like, no, DTM Maggie, go and I'm like, no, but I need a counter timer to complete my level. And therefore I proudly took the role of the accountant, which like DTM and she likes the timer. I like all the roles. And I like hitting that glass. I can't roll. And I have fun with it. And even gives you an explanation of what you are learning for each of the roles. And you then get to see how these roles work together. Then you path forward, you're able to do the requirements that are. Give yourself a wonderful foundation when it comes to master fundamentals. Once you've read all that, in the interest of time, I'm not reading it, but you have access to it, you will click the word next. And you will see from the checklist, I was able to come and tick participate as a table topics speaker. If you're the icebreaker, that's recommended, but if it didn't happen and you've got to be a table topic speaker, it is fine. So you'll take that. Complete the icebreaker project, writing a speech with a purpose, the vocal variety and body language project, complete the evaluation and feedback project, which once again is in 3 parts, serve as an evaluator, and complete 1 additional role. And I completed that and I logged it on my profile. Once you do all that, then you're able to come here and address the reflection questions, and you answer the following questions on what you learned. And you're able to save that as you go along. And I met the requirements for that particular role, and I'm able to go back to the review. So that is on mastering fundamentals and how you work with it. I want us to go into the icebreaker speech specifically. Depending on your internet speeds, it will load the screen. There is the icebreaker speech. There it is. And once it loads, click on it. And guess what? It's busy downloading for us the manual. This is the icebreaker speech manual. And it will tell you about the project and the resources that are available. Specifically, the project checked, which again is a PDF document. You click on it. There it is. And it tells you what to do. And it's even editable. You can write and have fun. And it's a 1-pager. Download it and save it. And it opens as a new browser. So I've just gone back into the Basecamp screen. The evaluation resource, again, you click on it. It downloads as a PDF. It's editable. So you can put your name here when you will be a speaker and all the details, the speech title, the date you're delivering the speech. And it's even telling you how much time you have. So if you see 4 to 6 minutes, you take the midpoint 5 minutes, don't worry. Word guide is 500. If it reads 5 to 7, so the mid is 6 minutes, the word guide is 600 words. That helps you keep within time. What's interesting to note about the evaluation form is that for each project, it has evaluation form and the name of the project. Therefore, you may not send the wrong form to your evaluator, as that messes both the purpose statement. What is the purpose of a project? If you're the evaluator, read it out. Why? Because you have an audience that is eager to know what particular speech met the objectives. They want to be able to give their fellow member feedback on the ballot forms that are available, depending on whether your club is a physical club. We do have ballot forms that we use to give feedback to each other. And we use the forms to vote for the better speaker, the better evaluator, and the best topic, or even the best role taker. And to give comments to each speaker. So here are the notes to you, the evaluator. And you need to tell us that the member is completing their first speech in Toastmasters. And the goal of the evaluation is to give the member an effective evaluation of the speech and delivery style. There are things that you will not evaluate them on, like body language and variety, but you want them to learn the basic structure of the speech. Because you may be speaking to an audience that doesn't know what that means, tell them I'll be looking out for the speech, the opening, body, and conclusion. And I will highlight what the speaker excelled at based on those objectives. Then I will highlight what the speaker may want to work on and an area they can challenge themselves in. You may have noticed that that's because very good yelling as they narrated their life story. And you can come in here and challenge them to incorporate it in their speeches, an effective communication tool. Others are so funny. The way they phrase their sentences are so humorous. So you may point that out. I noted that you're able to infuse humor in your speech. I encourage you to use this effective tool and continue to engage your audience as it keeps them glued to what you're saying. Then we have page 2 of 3 of the evaluation form, where you're being told that in addition to that verbal evaluation, can you also complete the following? If it's a new member, you may leave out this page for the icebreaker speech. Some want it anyway, I want it anyway, irrespective of whether or not I'm doing an icebreaker. But specifically for the icebreaker, there's the option to note this evaluation. Though I've realized those that have left for have come back, could you kindly also fill this for me? And I do it. And this is where you get to pick on clarity of the message, use of vocal variety, the eye contact, the gestures, the audience awareness, the comfort level, and the interest. Where do you get the notes to help you guide this particular selection? Scroll to page 3. And this is the evaluation criteria that says 5 is exemplary, 4 excel, 3 accomplished, 2 emerging, and 1 developing. When you're given a score of 1, or when you're allocating a score of 1, you're saying that the spoken language is unclear and not easily understood. And this tells the member that they need to work on their language usage, and the message they're communicating can be understood by the audience. How about 2, that the spoken language is somewhat unclear and challenging to understand? Again, you're drawing attention to that aspect in their message. But look at number 3. The spoken language is easily understood. I like getting a 3 because it says that people and they understood it. So as a minimum, I'm like, I need to strive to get a 3. But what if I stretch myself and go into the 4 zone, where I'm excelling at communicating and using the spoken language, excelling? I could be exemplary, but I'm always understood, an exemplary public speaker. So for me, anything 3, 4, 5, I'm happy. When I'm told 1, 2, it's like, whoa, I have a lot of work to do. So use the description under each category to help you do the ranking up here. And there is also a space for you to add a comment on why you did that ranking. This is how we use the evaluation form all the way to the evaluator. Kindly don't sit on the evaluation form forever and ever until kingdom come. Fill it as early as possible within 24 or 48 hours and give it to the member so that they can benefit from that feedback. Incorporate. You'll be called upon a verbal evaluation, and you're also required to write the evaluation on this form because the member needs to receive it, save it in their Toastmasters folder, completing the level. They will send all the evaluation forms for that level to their BPE as evidence of speech delivered. A number of us are delivering speeches outside our club, or we belong to multiple clubs, and they want to know, when did you deliver speech? And they're able to use this resource to verify that. Any question on the evaluation form? Hearing none for now. I'll come back to Basecamp because it had launched a different window. And by the way, save the evaluation forms in your folder and give them names that make sense. Then we have print the icebreaker project. And you know what this is? It's all the screens that I'm scrolling on and clicking next, 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 next. It's actually a manual for the icebreaker level 1 project under Toastmasters Pathways Learning Experience. And again, see, it's got a table of contents. It is a manual that has got about 20 pages. It has a cover page, as you have seen, and it also has a back page. So these are the resources that I was scrolling through earlier. It gives you the introduction, the No Wonderland, the kind of support that you get in the project. And then introduction and the assignment, you get to see what you're learning, what do you know, what are you wondering about, and we shall look at that in a minute. I wanted to draw attention to the competences. There are over 300 unique competencies that we get as we go through each and every project. Therefore, don't cheat yourself by not downloading this manual and being familiar with its content. As you do so, you will get to hone the competencies that are available. And guess what? We're building. You noted that we start with the fundamentals. We understand our style. We increase knowledge. We're building on what we already know. So therefore, these manuals and these beautiful resources are for us. So these are the different screens that I will soon scroll to, but they're all captured in a manual. Again, I invite you to download it. Save it. You need it for reference. And it's yours anyway. It has all the way to the back cover. And it has got 20 pages. Going back into Basecamp, you also have the icebreaker speech outline worksheet, a beautiful resource that tells you how to write out your icebreaker speech. What is your title? What are the main points about yourself? And it's editable. Type until you're happy. What are the reasons for joining Toastmasters? It's optional, but it's nice for members to know so that they can support you. What are some of your goals? I remember DTM Maria saying that she won't get rid of her pause fillers and the crutch words. Others come in because they want to be able to be better in presentations, or in general, just being public, being confident as they speak in public, from to speaking. You want to be able to have an opening where you're greeting your audience and you can pick whichever style you use. You want to capture the audience's interest in that opening. Then you can introduce yourself by where you grew up or whatever aspect you choose. Then how will you transition so that people now know you're no longer in the opening? Main points you will capture in there. And what is the transition for them to know that you have moved to the next aspect? Are you using time, for example? I grew up on the farm and I went to this primary school. Later, I transitioned to high school. You see, when I say later I transitioned to or later I attended school, I have transitioned. People know, she's now no longer talking about primary. She's in high school. Then I went to the university, and these are these actuals. Again, I'm transitioning and using order, time to transition. And how am I concluding? Have I restated the main points? And choose to close with impact. And hand control the meeting back to the Toastmaster of the day. And we do not say thank you. It is an honor and a privilege to hear you deliver your speech. We are the ones thanking you. And in fact, for the icebreaker speech, we stand and give you a standing ovation. So do save this icebreaker project in your profile together with these beautiful resources, the checklist, the evaluation form, and the speech outline. Once you have the speech outline with the points or statements listed out, it's very easy to flesh it out and come up with a speech. Don't you agree? Because you've already given yourself the pointers. And now I'm clicking next to get us started. What is it you know? You're able to see that. What is it you know and are even wondering about? Where do you find the support? And you're being told to even consider contacting your vice president, education, or another club officer. And you can go to next. Again, on your internet speeds, it will load the screen. Saying that the icebreaker speech is the opportunity to share something about yourself with people you do not know well. Or if you're delivering the icebreaker speech, share something new with old friends. And the icebreaker speech, once again, is 4 to 6 minutes in length. And this is the speech that all of us begin with. Then as you work through your project, you begin to recognize skills you already have. Like I talked about, storytelling using humor. So identify those as areas that you can build, and it will help you to foster confidence. And of course, being able to distinguish the basic elements of a speech structure. Your assignment is, of course, to introduce yourself to the club. And as DTM Anne-Marie said, it is not an inspirational speech unless it's about truth. And then we have the speech overview. You get to click, and it can be humorous, informational, or any other style that appeals to you as the speaker. Then I like this place on assess and reflect. What is it you know? I know my strength as a communicator. What are you wondering about? You're able to come in there and write them out. And it gives you the competences that I talked about earlier. We have over 300 unique competences that we stand to learn as we go through each project. So be very keen. What is this project teaching me? And make sure you learn the competence as you build on it as you climb the ladder through the different speech levels. What's the value of the icebreaker speech? You get to read and know. How do you plan your speech, and how do you plan looking ahead? How do you research? You are right, and easier, doesn't it? How do you remember your icebreaker speech, given that it's now adult learning, where we are not memorizing every word? And you know from our primary school days how when you forgot one word, it throws everything off. And guess what? We've got beautiful videos in there. We do not have the time. I will not take the time to listen to this lovely Toastmaster sharing about the Toastmaster icebreaker experience and what you need to do about it. But do take time to listen to her. Then once again, in terms of the speech structure for the icebreaker, it's an interesting topic. And try and keep it as short and as succinct as possible. Have an opening, a body, and a conclusion. Then this is what you get to see, and we looked at the speech outline briefly. Then you go on next. Write it out. Remember outline, connect with all. I will not want to stuff that it has for us there, but I'm trusting that you will do that. What are the techniques for practicing? Do you do it in front of a mirror, your family members, recording yourself? No options. Record yourself, use a mirror, practice sections, time yourself to ensure. How about the timing and the pacing, the organization, the review, and what you learn? All these are wonderful tiles for you to read and see what will happen. Specifically for the icebreaker speech at 4 minutes, the green card goes. And what I tell all the people that I meet is continue talking. And you see that first green flag. And that's your license to know I have without a doubt the minimum required project. And as you continue seeing the other cards, like the yellow, begin to transition to your conclusion from wherever you are. Find out to join whatever you just said sentence. So pay attention to what you're saying. So that by the time you're seeing the red flag at 6 minutes, you are busy concluding your call to action and walking off that stage in style with something memorable that you've given the audience to remember. How do you pace the speech? Not you walking up and down. Which are you going to move a little fast because you're showing excitement? And we used to play police and robbers at the farm. And games we had to go and arrange the French beans in cartons. And of course, it's not fun. So I'll use my slinger. How do you pace to show the different moods in the story? Use pacing. What about organization? Sticking with the allocated time. You do that, as well as making sure you're meeting the objectives and the competences. Which helps you organize your thoughts. You've written into your confidence. Should you forget something, make sure you've got reminders that you've put in. And for the icebreaker, school life and began working. There's already a natural progression. Stick to it. But for words that do the transition in one section, the next. And of course, communicating with your evaluator. Give them the evaluation form and the speech project, that manual that we download. For level 1, it's not as important because we all have projects or subjects, if you like. But as you move on to level 2, you'll find this person, this person doesn't have your project. And therefore, when you're asking somebody to evaluate you for the higher level projects that you do, other than the introduction to Toastmasters, which compiles all the parts, your evaluator may not have that skill. Therefore, you need to send it to them in good time so that they read the objectives and what is required. There's a project I evaluated last couple of weeks, and it required the Toastmaster to have maintained a journal for 2 weeks. Now, if they hadn't sent me the manual, how was I supposed to know that that was a requirement and they were coming to report on that experience? Isn't it? It's important for you to share not just the evaluation form, but the project manual, and I've shown you. Load it, and it has a cover page, it has a table of contents and a back cover. So share the resources early. As you all know, we are working somewhere, and you don't want to surprise somebody with a 20-page manual when the meeting is about to be called to order, and you expect them to read and introduce you, and evaluate you in a constructive manner. It's a sign of showing respect for one another and for you, part of your excellence. What do you expect? There's a video on that. How do you relax, breathe, and enjoy? All these are tips that we learn. How do you manage those butterflies? And all of us have them. How do you use them to work for and not against you? Then after your speech, what you need to do is also listed for us so well. Make a point of reading all the resources that are hidden in there, and even going to the evaluation feedback, which we saw earlier, and how to download same. understanding the Toastmasters education, especially what you are learning. What do you learn when you get that verbal evaluation? Do you know if you click on the tile, it gives you what you need to learn? Written evaluation, and we looked at the form. And what's your club practice? Do you get evaluated by the different members? And they'll only give you a good evaluation if they knew what the objectives were. So if you're the evaluated out the objectives clear for the benefit of those in the room, that the members give you constructive feedback if you're the speaker. And I like saving those little chitties, and I refer to them. I see, what was I told to work on? And because I can't work on all the 3 or 5 things that I was told by different people, I pick 1 or 2. And I see how well I can work on these. And how you accept feedback, you need to be receptive. And you find you don't always agree with everything that has been said, or you're told to do something that's not within your personality. So be conscious as you take in the feedback as well, and also work with your mentor or another club member to help you understand that feedback. And the way you need to receive the feedback will even be guided on how to listen carefully. Just pay attention at that particular time. You need to meet with your evaluator before. In addition to the objectives that are listed on the evaluation form, you may be wanting your evaluator to look out for something else. That's the time to tell the evaluator, not after you've delivered the speech. When you tell them before, they'll be keen and they'll pay attention. Then, of course, noting how to use your time well by pacing yourself using the word count. How you're being thoughtful, how you engage, how you stay positive, and of course, listening, something that we all need to continually practice, and it's listening at a higher level, what we call active listening. You're not just hearing, you're processing and taking the required action as much as you're able to. Do not forget to evaluate yourself. And at this point, I want to draw attention to the 3 speeches we have for each project. There is the one that we sat and wrote or we typed. Then there is the one that we deliver in front of our club membership or the visiting club that you're delivering it in, or the forum that you're delivering that project at. Then once you take your seat, you're like, I wish I'd said this, I should have said that. That's the 3rd speech, the one you wanted to deliver. So for each project, don't bash yourself up too much. We have 3 projects. The one you prepared for, the one you delivered, and the one you wanted to deliver. The main thing to note is that you're learning from each and every experience. How do you review and apply? And it's easy. And you're able to come in and answer the questions. What did you learn? What did you take away? And make sure you save, and those notes are available for you, and you can always come back and add some more. And once you're done, you'll click on next. Again, taking us to the beginning, what was the project purpose? What was the overview? What did the project include? What have you done? And you continue ticking all these items as you progress and get to this particular screen as it's part of your project completion. Then the rankings that I talked about earlier when you're carrying out the evaluation sit right there. And as you go on, you'll be able to see, are you an accomplished speaker? Are you emerging? Are you developing as part of the ranking? Then how do you reflect on your learning? Take time to see, what have I really learned? And especially because level is on fundamentals, where we are building bits that we will use as we complete and continue in our journey. As we complete different projects and continue in our journey. How do you complete your project? We have the know and wonder. You're also reviewing the project. You're delivering your speech and you're receiving evaluation from fellow club members. How do you complete your project? You can come in here and know and wonder and write to your heart's delight. The icebreaker speech that I delivered for this particular project was on the quality control school on the farm and the wonderful things that I learned. And I delivered that speech on 1st of July, 2025 at Nairobi Toastmasters Club. And I was evaluated and I shared the speech resource. And you're able to email it if it's somebody from your club. If it's somebody outside of your club, then you'll download it together with the project and send it off separately. Then before you move on, can you review your learning? What did you learn? What skills did you learn when you were delivering? From the feedback that you've received, what can you learn? Can you assess and reflect on what you're going to do differently? And of course, you'll complete the project and you'll tell you congratulations. And once you tick the relevant box, this is the tile that will load. And you can return to overview. Again, that happens depending on your internet speeds. Then once that happens, you're welcome to come back to Mastering Fundamentals under the overview. And it's important that you do so that you can complete that project to enable you to get this tick. If you do not go through the motions that I have demonstrated right now, up to the place when it tells you congratulations, you will not get this tick. And there is this part as well on Mastering Fundamentals, where you come and tick off what you've done. I know I started with it, but I just want to draw attention to it as part of the project completion process. You must now come and tick icebreaker as you await to deliver the other projects. And I hope that is clear. You need to put ticks in the relevant places as part of the completion process for each project. We have gone through the icebreakers and navigated different sections of the Toastmasters website. Through the same drill. And it also has a beautiful manual on writing a speech with a purpose. Any question or any comment? Rachel, go right ahead. You may unmute and speak.
Thank you, Pichidin. I have a question. First of all, I'm not able to find that dynamic leadership interface. I log in through home, but I'm only seeing and log out. But when I click on home, I get different things.
Are you able to see the education program?
Is it under my
It's one
home?
of the options for the website on the ribbon.
Yes.
Yes. Once you go there,
Yes. I'm
also want to go there, then I want to go, it's brought me here. I want to go to the Toastmasters home. It's loading. I want you to click on education program. And I want to just display my screen for everybody's benefit. You able to click on education program?
Yes.
Has it loaded a screen that has got, whoops, two
Yes.
tiles?
It has
Choose a path.
education program overview. All of Toastmasters education programs are enhanced by the following growth principles. That's all I'm seeing. Then more information.
Lovely. Are
Oh,
you able?
I'm seeing base camp videos under more information.
Okay, have you chosen a path?
No,
Scroll all the way to the bottom.
yes.
Can you see choose a path? Under more information.
Maybe it's under pathway. Choose a path.
It's under overview. It's even under overview. Can you see its overview that's active for me right now?
Yes, but under more information, only have education program, FA2, base camp videos with updates.
Do you have choose a path?
No, it doesn't have the path.
Okay, can you go to Basecamp? Does it have go to Basecamp?
No, it only has base camp videos.
Okay, can you click after overview? There's pathways.
Okay.
Can you see pathways next to overview?
Yes, I've seen pathways.
If you scroll down, are you able to see under more information, choose a path?
I think we don't have this option.
We don't have it.
It's education programs and base camp videos.
Yeah, that's
We
it.
don't have all that. Yeah.
Are you able to click on up there, my home?
On what? On my
My
home?
home. Yes, where it says welcome, Rachel. There's a white triangle there. Can you see the white triangle where it is welcome at the top?
Just a minute. Take me back.
Right at the top where it welcomes you to the website. I'm not top near the logo. Where I'm
I think she
pointing.
needs to click the login button.
Yes, click the login. You must be in the site. You have to be in the site. It tells you welcome by the first name you registered in Toastmaster. Registered as Margaret. Click login and then put your password. Let me know when you've done that. Give Toastmasters to use for you and the password. If you don't already have a password, click on forget password. It will give you a code on that email.
I have, where can I take you today, Rachel?
Lovely.
First place.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. That's where I wanted you to come.
Then
Right
go
here.
to base camp.
Yes. Or you can go to the Learning Hub, either Basecamp or Learning Hub. Because the first thing you need to do is to choose a path for you and anybody else on the call who is yet to choose a path.
Okay. Can just bring for one project, table of contents. Is that it?
I need you to select a path first. Have you selected a path?
Yeah. Ah.
Go to education program now from where it says, where can we take you today, Rachel? Click on education program, or you can click on the learning hub. Any of these two places will take you to choose a path.
Okay, learning hub, choose a
Yes,
path.
choose a path. Then when it loads, choose the language. Then you can see all the paths and see what exercise we went through earlier. Then you see which one you want to start with. And I know they're already recommending you start with presentation mastery. If that's not the one you want to start with, pick the one you want.
Okay.
That help?
Yes, I've picked leadership.
Then you go through completing that process, and it's more or less similar to what we do, putting gross items in a cart, the supermarket, but the value will be zero to it unless you've already selected a path.
I selected presentation mastery, and
Love.
you
Yes,
just you showed us.
yes. So continue
So
till the end. That selection process, it will say continue until it says paths are successfully selected.
because I'd selected presentation mastery, I cannot continue.
Okay,
It's ready.
it's already sitting there.
Yes.
Lovely. So when you now go to Basecamp, you'll be able to navigate it. When you go to Basecamp, click on presentation. It will load the screen based on your speeds. Go to overview and now begin from level 1.
Now where is Basecamp? I go back to my home.
Yes. Is there a tile for go to Basecamp? Go to my home. It's always the best way to where you are.
I'll go to my home. Okay, I've seen it.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. And anybody else who is not there yet can follow what I was explaining to Ray.
Thank you.
Any other question or comment?
May I ask a question, please?
Yes, Dolores.
What's the difference between, okay, for me personally, between choosing presentation mastery and dynamic leadership? Do you have any recommendation?
It depends on what you're currently working on. Do you find yourself in a scenario where you have to do multiple presentations or a number of presentations? Or do you find yourself leading a team? Maybe you're a sectional head, department head, an entrepreneur running business and leading people. Dynamic leader as you lead them.
Both of them.
Okay, then you need to make a choice. Where do you want to start? And knowing that when you finish the first part, the other 5 are also there for you. I mentioned to start with part there then called leadership development. And then finish and done all these other wonderful parts. I'm saying I don't just want to be able to be developing, to be dynamic. And I've also done my presentation mastery path. It's the one I finished before I came to this one. And you can see another hand up. Whose hand is that? Help me see it. Whose hand is up? Maybe not. Any other questions, comment? But I'm hoping you've learned some.
Yes, please. Again.
Rachel.
Yes. Does that mean that I'm opening under Basecamp, the icebreaker project is for the project that I chose, mastery?
Yes, it should be. But what I want you to do, can you hang around a little bit? When I finish, I want to give you co-host, right? So that I see you seeing.
Okay.
And anybody who is in Rachel's situation. A question or comment, something you wanted us to talk about? Anything else you wanted us to capture?
Maybe a
I know.
reminder, like
Go ahead.
Anne had missed to share with us her contacts. That's good to know about in clubs.
Yeah, can you kindly share with us your contact? Then we keep talking about DTM, 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 which stands for Distinguished Toastmaster. I did post this chat earlier on the Zoom chat. And how do you become a Distinguished Toastmaster? Guess what? You join as a member and you begin your journey by completing any one learning path. So when you complete any of the 6 parts, all the last level and go through the process of project completion, you're done with your first part, then you select a second path that should be different from the one you did first. Self-paced, but as Christine Ombaka, my president at the Hill, will tell you, DTM always says, do not compete with the snail and the tortoise. They already won first place for being slow. So set a pace for yourself that you're comfortable with and you're getting value. Then once you complete the first path and the second path up to the 3rd level, you can request Toastmasters International to share with you your Distinguished Toastmaster project. This is like the thesis for a PhD. And you can begin to work some fast even an entire year. And I keep referring to my president at the Hill. That is a club leadership role. To the Vice President Education, President Vice President Public Relations, the Treasurer, the Secretary, and the SAA. When you serve in that position for 12 months, and the period is 1st of July to December, that's if you're working with a 2-month period, and 1st of January all the way to 30th of June. That gives you a full 12-month term. And you need to do that for 12 months. Then you need to serve the district leader and our a district leader. And I'm holding that role for 12 months. Then club extension. You have opportunity to sponsor a new club. Then start all the way to charter. Or you can conduct a speechcraft, which is a special Toastmasters program that runs to 4 to 8 weeks. And you share the Toastmaster skills at that short period, basically covering level 1 and a few electives from level 3. One, complete that program as a speech coordinator, you can also get credit. Or you can run a youth leadership and be the coordinator. And when you run any of these 3, you only need 1. You will get the club extension credit towards your Distinguished Toastmaster certification. And finally, you engage in what we call club support. And you serve as a club mentor. I remember Mary Isaac asking, how do we know who the club mentors are? And these are the 2 individuals that are designated because they showed interest in wanting to mentor the new club for anything between 6 to 12 months, or it can then stay on for 2 years, just to help the club learn the ropes. Or you can be a club coach where a club is currently struggling and you want to go in there and show them the elements of quality. Help them recruit members, especially struggling with number of members, and take them through pathways that we have taken you through, the small, so that they know how to navigate pathways and get those education goals. Encourage them to visit other clubs and see how things are ran, and for their own club specifically to invite that they convert to members, to go to at least 20 members, what's called charter strength, the minimum required charter a club. When you serve in one of the 2 roles, you get the club support credit. Once you're done with all this, then the Vice President of Education will submit the Pathways DTM Award to World Headquarters for you. and you will get the status DTM reflecting on your profile. And also, it's a certification you'll get a plate, and it's wonderful. In Toastmasters, there is something to aspire to, and even after you become a Toastmaster, get as many DTMs as possible. I'm working on my third one. It's possible. Continue learning and wear the hat of a learner for life. I'll hand it over to Atiela to bring the session to a close. We're hoping that you are taking away some learnings from this particular session. Atiela Chair, over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Anne Maria.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Maggie. I love the people who are showing her some love. Thank you for sharing, and thank you everyone for engaging completely and fully in this training. Please do not hesitate to reach out in case you need some help. We are here to support you. There being no any other business, allow me to bring this to a close. Have a great weekend. Okay, I have seen your request, Grace. I will send an email to, since we all registered using our emails, I'll just send an email with the recording. Okay, have a great weekend.